Happy Sunday. This is Simon with AvaTrade. Welcome to our weekly webinar, Mapping Out Your Week Ahead. For new people, I would just explain what we do here before we move forward. We're simply trying to make a plan for the week, as simple as it is. And I like to use the quote of traders when they say, you plan your trade and then you trade your plan. This way, we can avoid unnecessary reactive trading or chaotic trading without the plan. And in general, I think we all know it. If you spend a little bit of time preparing yourself for anything that's awaiting, we have more chances to succeed, not just in trading, but in general. Few things about myself. My name is Simon Friedman. I'm a senior account manager with AvaTrade. I started my trading career as a prop trader in New York City in June of 2000. So it's over 25 years now that I'm involved with trading. It's my passion. I love it. So I did the prop trading for about 11 years, and then I moved to a different way, as I like to say, less stressful environment. And at that point, I started to mentor and educate others. And I'm very happy I have this great opportunity to be assisting our customers at AvaTrade. So what we do, as usual, we speak about indices, stocks, commodities, Forex. We start with a little bit of fundamentals, some highlights, some screenshots of the articles with some explanation. And then we'll move to the charts to look at instruments from a technical angle and try to put all these things together and try to see what can we do in the upcoming week. Risk warning, you can find the full statement at avatrade.com. Of course, everything we do here is purely educational. We do not suggest any trades, and we don't give any trading signals. We discuss markets and look for opportunities. Here, our social media channels, please feel free to follow us on Telegram, X, and YouTube. As I usually say, it's my favorite for variety of content. You have a lot of educational material. You have tutorials. You have webinars, including this one. So if you ever miss a webinar, or if you just like to scroll through the past webinars, it's available to you. And feel free to subscribe and click on that bell so you'll be notified of new things coming in. Now, if you are watching this on YouTube, please feel free to click the likes. Actually, I encourage you to do that just in case you like it, of course, don't fake it. And also share with people that might be benefiting from this. And of course, if you have any comments, any messages, please write to us as well. All right, so before we go into information, just another time when we can see how the Main Street and the Wall Street are totally disconnected. We had the government shutdown, we have a lot of issues, and the markets are making all-time highs. By the way, as we speak today, Bitcoin made all-time high as well. So I guess the market has its own mind, its own mechanism, its own body and soul, and it's just running up. The shutdown of the government caused us not to have NFP numbers on Friday, which was surprise, right? I totally forgot about shutdown, so I was waiting for those numbers, and when the time came, at 12:30 GMT, the numbers were not there, and the market didn't react as usual as I was expecting. So let's see how that will play out in upcoming days. We have less data this upcoming week as well. We'll show you the economic calendar soon. All right, so here's the article from marketwatch.com. Government shutdown leaves investors in data void. Here's how they get around it. So they give you, I didn't know about it, so for me it was very educational here. So when it comes to the jobs picture, I'm going to read from here. Investors can tap data provided by companies like Ravenpack, LinkUp, Revelio Labs that track real-time job postings, said Jin Lu, senior analyst at Wolf Research. I guess there's some other ways of seeing the numbers, right? Another thing, it relates to oil. It says right here, OPEC will likely, so why OPEC will likely hike next month's oil output quota, even as price just posted their biggest weekly drop since June. The major crude oil producers, shown as OPEC Plus, are expected to agree to another monthly hike in oil output quotas at the meeting, this week, despite expectation for global supply surplus this year and next. Oil prices on Friday tallied their biggest weekly low since late June. The price drop shows that surplus fears are back in charge, said Stephen Innes, managing partner at SPI Asset Management. So we'll take a look at oil as well. We'll show it on the chart. Now, also very interesting development here. Japan picks fifth leader in 5 years. It looks like every year one, right? They always have issues with government. The stock rally ignores the politics, and it's the first woman, right, ever in Japan. Japanese stocks have rebounded sharply after getting hit hard when the Trump administration unveiled its tariff policy in early April. Strategists expect Saturday's election of Japan's fifth prime minister in a bit more than 5 years to do little to derail the markets. All right, so let's see how Japanese market has been very, very strong. We'll take a look at it in a moment. Now, also we have some developments in the tariffs, and says right here, President Donald Trump is weighing a plan to offer tariffs relief to companies that produce cars in the U.S. According to Reuters report on Friday, the quoted Republican Senator Bernie Moreno and auto industry officials. So we did have some bounce in auto-related stocks. Ford shares rose 3%, GM gained 1.5%, Honda increased 2.7%, and Toyota was up 2.1%. I mean, Trump is doing amazing things. I don't know if he's doing it the right way, but what he's trying to do is try to bring a lot of business and money into the United States. That includes auto producers, now it's with the pharmaceuticals and other things. I guess it's good for the country, and that maybe this is partially what the markets are continuing running. Besides, of course, the main reason being the AI. All right, the Feds, the next meeting, 29th of October, and here are the numbers. 96.2% probability of the interest rate cut on the next meeting on the 29th of October. As you could see, economic calendar is very, very small, right? And I think a big reason or main reason here because the US government shut down and we're not really getting a lot of numbers here. So Monday, we have European numbers in UK, we have retail sales from European Union, ECB President Lagarde. She's been talking a lot lately, speaking on Monday as well. Governor Bailey of Bank of England speaks on Monday as well. Another speech of Lagarde on Tuesday. Interest rate decision from New Zealand. New Zealand dollar has been pretty weak lately. We'll take a look at that as well. Governor Ueda speaks from Bank of Japan. Another speech, wow, 3 days in a row we have President of ECB speaking. FOMC minutes from a last meeting, right? Thursday, we have a speech of Powell, also very, very important. Friday, we have employment change, and it's kind of a Canadian version of NFPs from Canada, right? We have Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index on Friday as well. So these are the things, the small calendar. Again, I forgot to mention, it's very important for new people. Economic calendar is a public information. You can access it on our web trader or the mobile app. Of course, you can just Google it. It's the same data. It's important to know it ahead of time so you wouldn't be caught by surprise in volatile market moves. Also, here I just take out the high impact events. Of course, you can browse through it and filter through things that are, and choose things that are relative to your trading. And the times here are GMT, kind of universal timing. Okay, so this is the economic calendar. Now, winners and losers, as usual, we're going to take a look at them individually when we get to the charts, try to see how they look. Big move on Bitcoin. These are the futures, right? So Bitcoin futures up 12.5%, copper up 6.5%, natural gas up 4%, silver up 282, coffee 272, gold up 271, platinum up 258. And to the downside, cocoa, it looks like it broke to that support, down 10.65%. Crude oil, big drop for the week, as that article said, down 7.65. Heating oil 7.5. Gasoline down 6.6%. So it looks like there if you follow us here, with the 1 week the energy is up, next week is down, then up again and down again. So it looks like for the past few weeks we've been doing this up and down on energy futures. So gasoline down 6.6. Palladium, unlike other metals, it's been down this week 2.2%, and cotton down 1.66. Of course, there's more. What would I choose here? I choose the most up and down futures, so we can take a look at the chart and see if we can do anything with it in the upcoming week. All right, let's move to the charts now, and then we'll go through the markets sector by sector or group by group. We'll start with indices as usual. Just to give you a few numbers for this past week, we had a record high on Thursday for all the indices, and they closed the week. Dow Jones rose 0.2%, S&Ps up 0.1% for the week, and Nasdaq up 0.4%. And just for statistics here, the numbers that I pulled from Barron's, the 30th record closing high for S&Ps and Nasdaq this year, and the 10th record close for Dow Jones. All right, so let's start with China. China has been having a hard time breaking through this high of September 11. We had this big move. We had few tails, but never closed above that closing of this high candle here. So it looks like we're facing resistance at 15,240 area. Here's Japan. A similar story to this move here. We had the descending kind of channel here, right? And we move higher. Another one shorter than this one, and we broke through the resistance of 45,705, closing above 46,000. Japanese index is super strong. As we speak of the strength, another strong one is UK, just establishing all-time high, closing the week on the highs. Very strong week, I think, for UK index here. Nothing above, no reference, so no resistance. Let's see how things will play out. S&P's 500, as you could see here, on Thursday we had a record closing, and then Friday, after making all-time highs, we closed lower, so a little bit red on Friday on S&Ps. Nasdaq, same story, but Friday reaction was stronger. We did close below the previous day after making all-time high. And Dow Jones actually is the strongest. Friday was a strong day for Dow Jones as well. And we had, I think, all-time high closing on Friday. And here comes Germany. We are struggling here with 24,500. We had Thursday closing above it, and it came right back to that level. And that's the level of a previous few attempts to break through this 24,505. And this is the level that we are working with, 24,505. Okay, so that's the German DAX. So these are the indices. So the global picture, as we could see here, we have some indices, or most of them, making all-time highs. Japanese index super strong. Chinese facing the strong resistance, and Europeans are strong here as well. So that's something that we have up to today. Let's see how this new week will play for indices. As we said, when things are making all-time highs, there's no reference as far as resistance. As they say, the sky is the limit. So that's the indices. Moving to the stocks. We start with NVIDIA, probably, as it continues to be a market leader, right? We have NVIDIA on Thursday making all-time highs and then retracing a little bit and closing the gap on Friday. So we had the gap between Wednesday and Thursday was closed on Friday. We closed at 187.33. And that's the situation on NVIDIA now. Something I went through this weekend, it looks like NVIDIA is investing 100 billion to OpenAI. And I mentioned to you, I think last week, it's kind of investing into their own pocket. They try to boost the OpenAI so OpenAI could continue buying their products, the chips that are being used for the AI business. Oracle, also important to mention. If you remember, we spoke about Oracle, also with a lot of deals, including the OpenAI deal for $300 billion. And we said that after this move up, with a huge gap, we could be trying to close that gap. And take a look what happens here. Pure technicals, right? This was the gap, the original gap, that their earnings and the reports. Then we came down, established this support, made a lower high, and then we broke through this previous support. And now it looks like we could have established a new resistance instead of a previous support. And if that's the case, which it looks like it, we might be sliding lower, going further into possibly closing the gap, or at least possibly testing the 50-day moving average here. But we're not going to guess as usual here. Our first reference is this low of September 30th, 275.86. And as far as resistance, that's 292.14, level of around 292. That's the level of immediate resistance. So that's as far as Oracle. Now Intel, I'm sure some traders are happy campers here. And if you remember, we spoke about Intel a lot, around $19, $20, as it could be a good investing opportunity here. And then the government got involved, that NVIDIA got involved, and I'm not sure what the situation with Apple. I think Intel is asking Apple to invest. I don't know if that's happening or already happened. I didn't follow up on that, but nevertheless, Intel is doing great here. We came from below 20 to almost $40. On Friday, we had the high of 38.04. So that's almost 100% gain, right? Probably 100% gain since the lows here. So Intel is doing great. We have, you know what? Let's take a quick look at the big players here. Netflix holding the support here. Apple is doing great. If you remember, we mentioned a few times that when they had September revelation of their product, initially it was a sell-off and then move higher. It's been happening every year. Now we are facing or coming to the all-time high, 215.991. That's the Apple's all-time high. We are less than $1 away from that high. Let's see how that plays out. Amazon doesn't look that strong. It looks like we're making lower highs and lower lows here on Amazon. Microsoft has been tight in this very tight channel that we established recently between 505 and 617, 620 area. Google closed the gap and sitting right here, 245. Meta doesn't look that strong. We just made a lower low followed, lower high followed by lower low and crossing below 100-day moving average here. So something's happening with Meta here, obviously. Tesla, after making this huge run, we had a sell-off on Thursday, followed with continuation to the downside on Friday as well. Now, there are a few individual stocks that I'd like to mention. AT&T, if you remember, it was super, super strong until we had a double top here. And then I didn't really watch the stock for a while, but take a look of a sell-off that didn't stop from the highs coming to 27 and we're facing the 200-day moving average. And I looked into it. It looks like some banks, including Barclays, I think downgraded the share prices. So there was a big sell-off here. And let's see if that continues, or we might be holding the 200-day moving average here. Again, when downgrades are happening by big banks, it could cause definitely small investors to get out, and also some funds might be getting out of the stock, and we can clearly see that dynamics here, right? So that's on AT&T. Now, pharmaceuticals, we have Pfizer. Nice recovery here. I didn't follow up fundamentally, but this was a big move. If you remember, this sell-off happened when there were issues with vaccination, and they connected it to the death of some children. And take a look, we did break briefly through the trend line, and then here on the 30th of September, with a big move to the upside and continuation, we are holding very, very strongly here on Pfizer. Johnson & Johnson, we mentioned last week how it benefits from the tariffs on foreign pharmaceuticals. Take a look, we continue moving since we broke through this resistance here. We continue moving higher on Johnson & Johnson here. Oil stocks, as the oil continues to weaken, and now we just read a small piece of article when it says that OPEC might increase the production. Here's Exxon. It's been selling after breaking briefly through the resistance of 115. We came right back, and then we stopped right on 50-day moving average here. That's on Exxon. Chevron, similar situation. We've been selling here, trading below 50-day moving average here. And I'm going to move to MT5, the UNH, United Health, right? If you remember, we mentioned a while ago, the stock had a nice recovery here from the lows after being in a lot of troubles since Warren Buffett and Berkshire Hathaway start purchasing heavily the stock. We had a nice move to the upside, and at this moment, it looks like we're facing this resistance here. We have a double top. So far, we're holding this 360. We closed at 360 on Friday. Previously, we had an attempt to break through it. So a nice recovery here, far from full recovery, of course, but we came from the lows of 234 to 360. Big move on United Health. Now, let's take a quick look at the banks. If you remember, I mentioned to you, the market is strong. One of the indications of the strong market is strong banks. We did have some selling here in the banks and making a lower low after the lower high. So that could be at least a reason to be cautious here. We might see continuation of that pattern. That's on Goldman Sachs. JP Morgan just made a lower low, Let's see how that continues. Bank of America, the same situation, lower high followed by lower low, and Citigroup, the same situation here. Actually looks weaker from the others, sitting right on 50-day moving average. So as you could see, we had some sell-off on the banks and some downside pressure. Let's see if that pressure continues, and we might see continuation to the downside. So far, we are holding that 50-day moving average, and on some banks, we didn't really reach there yet. All right, so that's as far as individual stocks. Let's move to commodities, and we'll go through the list of those winners and losers. We'll leave the Bitcoin for dessert with cryptos, and we start with copper. Copper had the big move, and we've reached that level. If you remember, every week I think I mentioned it, that we most likely will be getting to the 50% retracement here. The question is what it's now, and take a look. We did close right on 50. Now, for people that don't follow copper, I just want to remind you, this was the move up when the tariffs, when Trump said about tariffs on copper, and then we had a very drastic move in the reversal when he said that it's going to be affecting only the copper products, not the raw copper. And then the drop was tremendous, erasing this old gain and moving further down. Since then, we were zigzagging, making higher highs, higher lows slowly. And then we mentioned that we might come, as we established here, the Fibonacci retracement might be coming to that 50%, which is a pure technical speculation there, right? We came right to 50, and take a look, we closed right on 50%, 507.68. Now, the question is what's next? Some traders could be hoping for the next level of 61, 62% here, or we might come back to 38 as well. So nice move for those that were looking for this retracement here, as copper had a nice move. It wasn't easy, still not, but yeah, since this low that we faced on the 31st of July, we had a very, very nice recovery on copper. Natural gas had a nice move since we broke to 3. The next level was 315, and then we faced the next resistance at 200-day moving average. We first was tested it, and we had a nice move here, probably taking the stops from the previous level, and then 2 consecutive days to the downside, closing at 333. Still a very nice week for natural gas, up 4%. Let's see if we try to test that level again, or we should come and retest the previous support around 315. That's natural gas. Silver has been very, very strong. I was listening to a small presentation of Ray Dalio. I'm sure you all know who he is. He's been talking about silver, and I learned a lot of new things about it. Apparently, silver, physical silver, is being used widely in the solar panels. I never knew about it. So it's not just electronic silver speculation. Actually, physical silver is in a high demand. So here we go. Continues higher with some stops here, right? Correction, moving higher, consolidation, moving higher, small correction, and moving higher. So silver has been super, super strong here. Let's see. We actually on the way to retest the highs, going back to 2011. April of 2011, silver was at 49.79. We're less than $2 away from there. I'm not saying we're gonna hit it, but we could. And it's been super, super strong, and you could see a really, really high demand for it. Coffee, here we go. We had a nice correction after double top here, right? Retesting the April level, came back, held the 200-day moving average here and moved higher, closing at 388.15. So we have coffee up 272%, and take a look, the 50-day moving average is catching up with 200, which could give us a signal that some traders like to see something they call golden cross, when the 50-day moving average is crossing above the 200. So that's on coffee. And of course, gold, the classical safe haven. We had huge tails here, right? Wednesday and Thursday. Thursday, we actually open and close right in the middle of that candle, which shows that traders are really having a hard time deciding which way. And the Friday, of course, showed which way we're going. We closed at 38.86 on gold, all-time high closing, and continuing. So it just shows us either the fear of inflation or the safe haven and security on the equity markets, or both. Gold is super strong here. Platinum, it's continuing higher. It has a way to go. We had a lot of accumulation here. We had a lot of accumulation here, and since we've broken this, the trend line that was established here, connecting the previous two highs, we've been just going higher. Nice correction. The question is, will we break the recent high and continue higher? It could easily happen. We can go into correcting as well. Now, if we are continuing to trade higher here, some reference could be here from 2013 February. The high was 1742.7. So platinum continues to be very active and very in demand as well, together with gold and silver. Now, going into losers, cocoa was down more than 10%. And we mentioned cocoa, if you remember, when we broke through this 7,000 area, and then we established a new resistance here. And right after that, we continue lower, closing 61.67. So maybe the whole excitement about cocoa is actually wearing out. This was support from October 2024, and right after that we made all-time highs since then. So you could see we're zigzagging, making lower lows, lower highs, all the way to the current level. This is the weekly chart. So let's see what the question is, will we continue sliding lower? And if that's the case, we'll have a lot of ways to go. And that's on cocoa. Now, crude oil, going back to daily chart, crude oil just broke through that double support here at 61.46, closing at 60.67. Thursday was a sell-off, Friday continuation, but we held at Thursday's low. So crude oil, big drop for the week, 7.65%. Heating oil, as we said, as a group, we have crude oil, heating oil, and gasoline. It's been selling. We just closed below 200-day moving average. If we continue this way, we might be facing the previous support here at 218.67. Palladium is kind of not with the group of metals, right? We had a sell-off, not a huge sell-off, but down week for palladium. And let's see how this week will play. And the last one out of losers is cotton, down 1.66% for the week. So you could see here, we're having a hard time breaking through 50-week moving average. Every time we get close, we're getting a sell-off here. And on the daily, that's a 200-day moving average. Take a look. We tried, we moved lower, we tried, we moved lower, we tried, we're moving lower here. So that's on cotton. All right, so that would be it for the commodities. Moving to Forex, as usual, we're gonna start with dollar index. Here we go. Dollar index just hugging this level, 97.42. A lot of things here. We had a multiple support testing here. Then we broke below, came right above, and that support is back in play. 97.42 level here. We're holding on US dollar. Of course, we didn't, just to remind, we didn't have NFP, so we didn't have the major market reaction. If that number came in, regardless of the number, we would see some volatility in gold, dollar, and equities. It didn't happen. So that's on dollar. Now, as far as Canadian dollar has been probably the weakest, even with the dollar being weak, the US dollar is still strong against Canadian dollar. It's been super weak. It could be because of oil. As we know, oil has been weak as we saw it. So Canadian dollar, I just want to show you the whole group just to see. Aussie CAD, super strong in a double top here. Euro CAD at the highs. Pound CAD, triple top here. New Zealand dollar, which has been very weak, and maybe we'll see some changes with the interest rate decision this week. But even New Zealand dollar has been strong against Canadian dollar. So we had a major weakness on Canadian dollar here. Let's take a look at the Japanese yen really quick. It's been it's been gaining some momentum here as USD. JPY has been selling, stopping right around 200-day moving average here. And against other currencies, it's been kind of neutral here. We had this is the Australian dollar, Canadian, super weak against yen. Swiss also sold against yen. Friday with a little bit of a move up, and euro sold as well. So Japanese yen is super strong. Let's see if that adjustment or changes in the Japanese government, if we see any changes in yen's dynamics. And we have the governor of Bank of Japan speaking this week, as we said. So that's it pretty much with Forex. As we said, dollar is just waiting for something, and yen is strong, and Canadian dollar super weak, and New Zealand dollar is to watch for that interest rate decision. Now, here we go through Bitcoin. As we spoke, Bitcoin made all-time high before, and now it's retracing here. We're trading currently around at around 123,000, and the high was 125,673 today, and that it could be that it took the stops from the previous high that we faced on 14th of August. Some traders would consider it, if we close like that or even lower, that would be for some traders a signal for probable sell-off. But it's early to speculate on that. So Bitcoin, after making all-time high as we speak, is retracing a little bit. XRP, back to that $3 mark after retesting the previous lows around 270. We are testing the 3 to the upside. And Ethereum also had a nice run. We're not at all-time highs. I had a nice recovery from September 25th. So that's as far as cryptocurrencies. All right, so I think that that would be it for today. Again, don't forget about the social media channel. Subscribe, click on that bell. You'll be notified for new things. And just to summarize, we're still in the government shutdown, so we have less data than usual. We still don't have the NFPs. We have a lot of controversial opinions around AI. Is it good? Is it a bubble? Speculation continues. Meanwhile, the metals are making highs. It could be safe haven. It could be a physical need, as I mentioned, for that silver. And we have interest rate decision from New Zealand. We have not Kuroda, but Ueda, the governor of Bank of Japan, speaking. We have 3 speeches of President of ECB, Christine Lagarde, and we have Powell speaking this week as well. A lot of data, even though less than expected due to the government shutdown. Let's see if we hear anything good Also, there's a big development that's important to mention with the peace process in Gaza. I think today could be the deadline for Hamas to release the hostages or to full agreement to that. Going to be watching that. I think that's also the reason why oil is settling down or slowing down a little bit, as there's a big hope for the peace in the region, and we all hope for that as well. Nobody likes wars unless you sell weapons and other things, but that's a separate story. So let's see how that plays. I hope one morning, and I hope tomorrow we wake up and there's no more wars, and I hope that you agree with me on that one. So on that note, I want to wish everyone a peaceful and enjoyable weekend. We still have this part of the Sunday ahead of us. Prepare yourself for the week. It's going to be an exciting week. And I want to wish everyone a successful journey, profitable trading. Watch your risks, prepare yourself, and enjoy it. All the best. Take care.